Hi guys, and thanks for joining me today. If you're new here, I'm Marilyn, and if you're returning, thanks so much for coming back. Now, a couple of my YouTube friends, Stacy and Jess, they go live almost every weekend. And a few weeks ago, they were showing some sun catchers that they made. They made them with acrylic, and they used their laser. When I saw those, I knew I had to try it myself. So that's what we're going to do in today's video. Now the materials that I'm going to use for one of the sun catchers, I'm going to use this kind of turquoise, somewhat transparent acrylic, and I'm going to pair that with this wood right here. This is a light cherry wood. For my second one, I'm going to use this glitter acrylic. I found this on clearance at Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to pair it with this bright pink acrylic. Now on the backs of some of the layers, and I'll talk about that in the video, I'm going to use this 3M double-sided adhesive. Let's go ahead and open xTool Creative Space. Now this is a software that runs xTool lasers. It does have some design features, but I don't typically design in it. I usually bring in my projects. So let's go ahead and say we're going to start a new project. We'll click right here. And then since my project's already designed, I'm going to click right here on the picture of the image with the plus sign. That just means you're bringing in a file. So let's select it, and then mine is set to go to my desktop. We're going to start with the butterfly project. So let's select it and say open. Now when it comes in, it's all grouped together. If I click off of it and back on it, it is still grouped. So we're going to click ungroup, then you still have to click off of it. Now I can work with just one individual part. So the way this file works is we have our front piece, we have our middle piece, and this is just a frame to hold our little inlay piece of glitter acrylic, and then we have our back piece. Now you might wonder, why does this one have the hole on the right side? It is simply a mirrored copy of this one right here. And the reason it's flipped is if you have something that you're working with that's only nice on one side, so a nicely finished wood veneer, and you want to cut all three pieces at one time, you need to have your back piece flipped. Otherwise, the back side of what you're cutting out is going to be what shows on the back of your butterfly. And I want my butterflies two-sided. Now with acrylic, both sides look the same, so it really wouldn't matter, but it's fine for me to keep it flipped like that. Okay, let's go ahead and turn this a different color. This is going to be that glitter acrylic. So you select it, hover right here, and then pick a color. So I'm going to pick this purple. So this is the front piece. This will be the middle piece. My glitter acrylic will fit right inside there. It really does fit. It's just jumping around. Let me use the arrows on my keyboard and put it where it goes. And then this is the back piece. For now, I don't want to cut this. So with it selected, I'm going to go right over here to where you see output. Let's just click that off. That way it's not going to cut with these other pieces. Now my xTool laser is off because it's quieter with it off. Let me go ahead and turn it on. Then I'll show you how you move these pieces around where you want them to cut. So my laser's turned on now, but it's not really connected. You can see when I hover on this, it says not connected. So what I'm going to do is go over to device settings and click on that. Now I am connected via Wi-Fi, so I'll select that. It shows up. I'll select it, and that connects it. Notice there is no acrylic in here. I just wanted to show you this first. So now I'm going to put the pink acrylic in, and I'll show you how the camera system on this really helps you know where to place your designs. Now to be able to see it, let me go right up here where it says refresh, and I'll click on it. Okay, looks good. Now I want to go ahead and move this over because where the 3M double-sided adhesive is, that's where I want to place this piece. So I'm going to have adhesive on the front side and the back side of this, and I won't have any adhesive on these two pieces. Let me go ahead and use my down arrow on my keyboard, move that down a little bit, and then we're going to use a close-up camera. So with this laser, you have one camera that looks at the bigger picture. And then if you click right here, this is called the close shot feature. We're going to click on it, and then I'm going to move my cursor to where I want it to take a picture. The way this works is there is a secondary camera that's by the laser head. And so you point to where you want that laser head to move, and you get a really nice shot of it. So if I enlarge this and then make it where we can see it, the acrylic is way up here. With that middle camera, it looks like it ends here, but you can see that the acrylic really is all the way up here. Let's take another close shot. We'll click on it again, and then I'm going to look over here. That looks good as well. All right, let me go ahead and make my screen smaller. I'm going to speed this next part up and talk over it. So I took a couple of minutes to place the front and the back pieces of the butterfly onto the acrylic, trying to waste as little as possible. I was also trying to avoid that 3M double-sided adhesive because I didn't want any of it on those pieces. Finally, I took a close shot view to make sure my design was fully on the acrylic. Okay, so there's a few settings that I want to change. So let's go ahead and select all three of these. And let's go up to unknown material. And I actually didn't have to select all those to do that, but I did. All right, let's type in here that we're looking for acrylic. Here is 3mm red acrylic. That is very close to the pink, so I'm going to select it and I'll say confirm. Now this is just a warning because acrylic cuts very slowly. They want to make sure that you don't have something flammable on the bed of the laser that could catch fire. So I'm going to say got it. Then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to change engrave to cut. Now I could have done that earlier, but you're going to see when you click on cut, it is harder to see where your items are. You can see that I have a power of 80% and a speed of 13 millimeters per second. Now I'll say process, and I can see a preview right here of what's going to cut. I love having this preview screen. Now it says it's going to take 8 minutes and 53 seconds. I don't think that's bad for the intricate cutting that's going to go on here. So let's go ahead and press start. Now it doesn't really start until I go over and push this button. So I'm going to press the button, but before I do that, I'll turn on my filter. Now that processed well. I'm not going to process it again. I'll say OK. And then let's go ahead and refresh again because I did put that other piece of acrylic in there. Okay, we are done with these three pieces. It's hard to see them, but they're there. So let's delete those. And then let's move this into place. So we're going to go right back up here to the material. Let's select it, and I'm going to type acrylic again. And I'm going to consider this clear acrylic. So I'll select it, and I'll say confirm. I get that warning again, so I'll just say got it. Then I want to go right here, and I want to change it to cut. Before I do that, though, let's go ahead and use the camera and look at it. So I'll use the close shot. I'll select right up here because I think I would be wasting acrylic if I don't move this up and move it over. So let's go ahead, using the arrows on my keyboard, I'm going to move it up and I'm going to move it to the left. All right, I think that looks good. So now let's go ahead and change that to cut. We're cutting at a power of 80% and a speed of 13 millimeters per second. So, look, I didn't change the output. So if I said process, it says no design elements are available on the canvas. That's because I didn't change this to turn the output on. Now it should be fine. So I'll say process. There's my preview of it, and once again I'll click Start. So let's go ahead and put all the little parts and pieces together. I still have a few pieces of acrylic to push out of these. And then I need to take the adhesive off both sides of this. Now these cut all the way through, just sometimes they stick in place a little bit, especially with acrylic, because basically you're burning or melting that acrylic. But they're easy to get out. Okay, I think I have, whoops, there's one left. Now I think I have everything pushed out of there. Now here's the glitter piece. And with this, to take off this 3M tape, you don't want to do it up in the air because you want to have something solid under it so that you don't break your acrylic. Because this does have some really thin parts. Look at those antennas. And so we're just going to peel it off. And this double-sided adhesive is very, very sticky. So my finger is stuck to it, but it'll be fine. Now I think I'll leave the back piece on until I'm ready to take that off. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to place my little butterfly down inside here, and it just got stuck to the acrylic, or I'm sorry, it just got stuck to that double-sided adhesive. So let's approach this a little bit differently. Hopefully I don't break this. All right, let's put it down first and then slide this over it. That works so much better. Okay, so here's the front piece. We're going to line up those holes, and I may have to get really on top of this to get it placed well. I don't do this part very well, so let me go ahead and stand up and see if I can't do a good job of this. Okay, I think that looks really good. Let me just flip it over. Flip this over, place it inside, then I can remove this tape or the back of that double-sided adhesive. Okay, I fought with that quite a bit. I probably should have left a little bit larger gap so I didn't have to fight with it so much, but it went in, so I'm fine. So now let's remove this part of the backing to that double-sided tape. Now this pink acrylic is really bright, almost fluorescent. Maybe not the best choice for this. Maybe a lighter pink or a purple would have been better, but I'm still going to enjoy this. Okay, so now we're going to line everything up again, and then we'll be done with this one. It's not lined up perfectly, but it is very, very cute. So now I want to press down just to make sure that adhesive is really stuck nicely to both sides. That is adorable. Look how cute that is. Again, not loving the acrylic color, but for my first one, it's fine. So let's go ahead and move on to the second one. I'm not going to go back into the software again. You've seen all that. I'll fast forward through the cutting and me putting it together, and I'll show you both of these at the end. With the wood pieces, I left the paper masking material on the wood so that it would protect the wood from any singe marks. I get a cleaner cut on wood when it's masked. Also, this time I put the adhesive on the back of the front piece and the front of the back piece But I think I like the way I did it with the butterfly better, where you just put it on the front and the back of the middle piece. So I'm going to go back to doing it that way next time. Now here's both projects, and I like how both of them turned out. The pink one is a little juvenile. This other one is just gorgeous. Let me show you each one up close and personal. I love how this wood and the acrylic look together. I think that is gorgeous. Again, the pink one's cute, but I really prefer the look of the wood with the acrylic, especially if it's going to be hanging inside the house. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and until my next video, bye-bye. Now I forgot to say this during the video, but let me slide it in here and show you these are the same on both sides.